While your day is winding down, they're just getting started. This is South Coast Tonight with Chris McCarthy and Marcus Farrow. They've got you covered on all the news of the day, from local issues to politics on both sides of the aisle. This is the place where the movers and shakers come to be heard, to listen, and where they're held accountable. This is South Coast Tonight on WBSM.
Welcome. Okay. Welcome to South Coast Tonight. Yeah, Chris, I haven't gotten invited to the Eyes Wide Shut parties.
You haven't. Marcus and I were just speculating. I was telling him that last night I was while I was waiting for Succession to come on.
Speaking of Eyes Wide Shut,
right?
Yeah.
I noticed on Twitter. I do like Twitter. As far as social media stuff, because it is mostly media, really. A lot of news stories, things like that. But you can go down a rabbit hole. And someone posted the Epstein flight logs. So I started going through those last night. And if you know the airport codes, it makes it a hell of a lot more interesting. I was looking for EWB, but I didn't find any EWB, which is New Bedford. But I found plenty of Nantucket, which is ACK. Yeah. MVY, which is obviously the Vineyard.
Yeah.
Boy, that Epstein was in and out of the Vineyard in Nantucket all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
Even had our next president on his plane.
Really?
He had one of our last presidents, Donald Trump, and one of our future presidents, Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy used to go from Palm Beach Airport
Yeah.
to
Dominican Republic.
Well, just back up here to Boston.
Okay.
Or Teterboro. Teterboro was the other big one. Teterboro, which is in New Jersey, which is where one of our potential future presidents who passed away flew out of for his last flight, JFK Jr.
Oh.
Teterboro Airport. It's a little place in New Jersey, not far from the city. Mm-hmm. That's, the other place that Epstein flew in and out of all the time, which I thought was weird, was John Glenn Airport out in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
With John Glenn on board.
So John Glenn, for people who don't know, other than being a famous astronaut, was a United States Senator and one of the Keating Five.
So, not to be confused with our own Bill Keating.
Not to be confused with our own Bill Keating, no.
No. He was an anti-pornographer banker.
Yeah.
That was his big claim to fame.
Ironically.
It was obscene what he did with his bank. He just didn't want anyone to film it.
It was, yeah. Yeah.
So, what was interesting, Marcus, because it has all the passengers on the boat, you have one day where Epstein goes to Providence Airport, flies from Providence to the North Shore, flies from there to Washington, D.C., flies from there out to Ohio. At that point, he's got Alan Dershowitz and John Glenn on the plane.
Wow.
Flies then from there to Boston with Dershowitz on the plane, and then the plane goes to Teterboro, where Epstein apparently got off the plane for New York City. So just a whole day of flying Alan Dershowitz and one U.S. senator all around.
Very interesting.
In the 1990s, 96 it was.
Yeah.
So you wonder what was going on that particular day that was so important to have Epstein, his lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, and a United States senator on the plane.
Yeah. On the plane, just stopping here, there, and everywhere.
Flying around.
Yeah, incredible.
Really weird.
It is weird. It is weird. It's a bad look. It's a bad look.
Someone had to go.
Yeah, right.
The astronaut already left us, so.
So 508-996-0500 is how you can get on the program.
As you can tell, it's kind of open tonight.
Yeah, so we the guest this evening is you. As a matter of fact, you, the callers, the app chatters.
Hope you didn't already start drinking. Or maybe I do. Maybe
I do. It all depends, honestly.
It does all depend.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes you're better when you're drinking. Sometimes you're not.
Sometimes you're not, yeah.
You're really not.
Sometimes this might be a night where you're better when you're drinking. So,
yeah, assuming you just start now.
Yeah,
if you
right
started
now.
at 4 in the afternoon,
Please do not call. No. I mean, it all depends. Some people can, I think, keep it steady.
We call that maintain. Some people can maintain.
Some people
cannot.
can maintain. Yeah. Anyway.
Marcus, did you watch Succession last night?
I did.
What do you think? I thought it just had a better turn. I liked the intrigue of the boardroom stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
I did not. Now I think we can talk about. I didn't like the fact they killed off the main character. But it does open new doors.
It's a bold writing choice, but at the end of the day, I think with that, and honestly, it's like if you're not watching it by now, like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think I ruined it for anybody by giving you a week.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either.
And if I did, you weren't watching it anyway.
Yeah, so forget it. Yeah. I think here's the thing. I think that the end before he goes, when he tells them like, you're not serious people, right? And then he goes in. I think that was fairly correct, and I think the only way it could, like, they couldn't beat him, and so the only way that there could actually be a secession is if he died, because they realized, I think they'd built up this character to sort of be this larger than life and
invincible.
Yeah. Right? He just had a gravity to him that was like a planet, right? That's actually how he's described in the show by one of the characters. He's like he's got a gravity to him. He's like a planet, and so he would have suffocated I think he would have suffocated any momentum that was going to be built against him in that show. So I think it was probably the correct narrative choice.
I also think that potentially his fake children on the show actually did kill him. Because it's the only way they were going to get a lot more airtime.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's the only way they're going to get into the next season.
Yeah.
Is to get rid of.
It's the last season.
It is, right?
Yeah, it's the last season.
I don't like any of the characters.
No, you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to, right?
They're all terrible people.
They're terrible people, and
like, you ever see when Shiv walks into her massive New York penthouse and the dog's just in a crate. Like this insanely, but there's this like little fenced in area where the dog is.
Right.
In this massive penthouse.
The saddest part last night, or if you have any emotion for these people, is when the girlfriend/secretary started making a plea to saying he was going to write something down for me. He was going to write something down. And they're like, no.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
There's nothing there.
That's probably something that'll come back at some point. But
good point, Marcus.
Any other TV show that you like?
Marcus, that was the latest show that I've gotten into. It's not, it's pretty good. It's not fantastic. Let me say this. It's not something I'd say you should buy a subscription to HBO for.
Yeah.
Right? Sopranos, I did.
Of course.
Sopranos was really appointment television.
Yeah.
Same with Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Which is also on HBO.
Right. Succession, not so much. I like it. It's good. It's something Natalie and I watch. We have HBO. It's going to be coming on. But I wouldn't go out and get HBO just for Succession.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is. I really like it, but yeah, I mean, I have HBO for The Sopranos, basically.
Right.
What about have you ever seen Justified?
No, I don't believe I have. Tell me, which one is that?
Justified. By the way, guys, if you have any TV shows that you like, give us a call at 508-996-0500 or message us on the app chat. It's a floating topic.
Don't get me wrong. We know the world's coming to an end, but if you know about any TV shows.
Yeah, so we're just We're just taking like a brief little break from that. We'll get into the end of the world later.
Right.
So Justified, starring Timothy Oliphant and Walton Goggins. It's about this U.S. Marshal named Raylan Givens. And he is from Kentucky, and he gets reassigned back to his home.
Now, is it modern era or old time?
It's modern era.
Okay.
What was the guy's name? I forget the author's name. He's fairly well known. I'm going to have to look it up now. I think you'll know who he is. Justified. But anyway, he gets reassigned to Kentucky, where he's from.
Winslow?
No, it's by Elmore Leonard.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Elmore Leonard.
Of course.
Yep. So
He's a good writer.
Yeah, I wrote 310 to Yuma, which is a great movie starring Christian Bale. So anyway, it's about a U.S. Marshal who gets reassigned to his hometown in Kentucky, and so he's kind of got to deal with all of the lawlessness there. Like his old friend is now like, a white supremacist and a moonshiner, right?
They're always moonshiners.
Yeah,
Kentucky.
They're all moonshine. They're
Is he
all
growing marijuana too?
There's another a rival family in there that they're big. They're the marijuana kingpins of the area. So he's got to like deal and he's got to reconcile with his own family because his dad was a moonshiner and a drug dealer. It's a really good show. It's like very. It's one of those things like where you get like a show like Sopranos where like, every season, like this season's like a 10, and the next season's like a 10, and the next season's like maybe like a 7, the next one's a 10. Justified's like just steady, like good. Like it's straight up, it's like 8 all across the board. It's very good, very watchable. I think a lot of you guys will like it. It's, the guy's like a lawman.
It's HBO?
It's either Hulu or Amazon Prime, but
so I have Amazon Prime, I have HBO, I have Amazon, Amazon Prime, and I have
it's Amazon Prime.
Netflix.
Might be on Netflix too, but I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon Prime. So.
I don't think I have Hulu. I might, though.
I have Hulu Live TV. That's my TV subscriber.
Okay.
So that's how I watch shows and how I watch, football and all that stuff. Because I had, quick story before we get to the phones. I had Sling TV originally.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of the reasons I had Sling is because it was a really easy and a fairly cheap way to get NFL Red Zone.
Okay.
Which is how I watch football. Okay. Partly because I like it. I like to be able to watch all the games at once, and I like... for fantasy. Sure. I have fantasy players, right? I'm really into that. So week 1 of this year, I'm all set. Like I go, I get some food. I'm all set up, like I'm just ready to go, right? Like I'm just incredibly pumped.
And then,
yeah, it just doesn't work. Like it kept on saying like loading error, loading error, loading error. So then I find out that...
And Marcus is not happy with that.
The stuff I said
I'm trying
morning,
to stimulate it again.
The stuff I said that afternoon, I cannot say on the air right now because I'll get fired.
Because your mom's listening.
Yeah, because my mom's listening, and I'll get fired.
Right.
So then I looked at the Sling's Twitter. And they said, this is actually, this is how you can enjoy all of our NFL content today. And it had some like convoluted way to log into other things. And I'm like, wait a second, they knew this whole time.
Oh.
So
now you're infuriated.
I was like, what the?
Right.
So then I tried to cancel my subscription. And as soon as you go to cancel subscription, they reroute you to... This is how you can enjoy our NFL content. Beautiful. I'm like, oh my God. So it was the most, and then someone like they said, later they're like, yeah, we really fumbled today. And I'm like, no,
football jokes.
Nope. I was the most gratifying unsubscribe I ever had in my life.
I don't blame you at all.
Switched to Hulu Live TV and I never went back. I hope Sling isn't a sponsor. Good evening. You're live.
Hi.
Hello.
What's up?
I really enjoy you guys.
Thank you.
Anyway, I have to say that I totally agree with you about Succession. I think they're like horrible people.
Horrible.
And I won't pay for HBO, Max or whatever it's on. You know what I look for? I want to say something else too before I hang
Go
up.
ahead.
You know what I look for under the, like, for me, I have Xfinity. So every different, you got to check different times.
Yes.
It'll show free movies, free this, that, because they want to entice you to watch it.
Right.
So I was doing it. But then, I get to the end and I'm like, oh, no, I am not doing a prescription for that.
Right.
Subscription, listen to me. Anyway.
I say that too, my friend.
I'm doing that because I'm sitting here at CVS waiting for a prescription.
That is a fate worse than death. You almost don't want to get the medicine. Your life is, because you've been there so
no,
long.
it's
I
not
agree.
that bad because
Okay.
I'm early, so it's okay. But listen, the other thing is, I love Kate, news person, but I wish somebody would please tell her the correct pronunciation of the guy's name in Dighton.
Texera.
The night guy has it right.
Kate,
Texera.
Kate's not from here.
I know. No, that's
We're going to keep her, though.
We're going to keep her.
I'm not, no. I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want you to knock her about it because I love her, enjoy her.
Right.
But that really drives me crazy.
I think you're not alone.
Yeah, me too.
It drives
But I
Taylor
understand.
crazy on Howie Carr. He was talking about it today.
Yeah.
Every time I hear it on the national news, I go, good Lord, the X is right there. It's right there.
Yeah.
But there are one or two national news persons who say it properly.
Okay.
But anyway, that's all I have to say. And you know what? I like this little change of politics thing. Just a little light,
Thank you, Ike.
Thank you.
So do
guys
we.
do a good job.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Sometimes
All right,
we
take
can't
care.
talk about the world coming to an end constantly.
It's exhausting.
It is.
It's literally, when I say exhausting, it's literally exhausting. It
Right.
makes me tired.
Right.
So,
And we know you guys have other things going on in your life, too, that are interesting.
and 508-996-0500, we got some app chats as well, so we'll get to them. Good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, you're on the air.
Hey, hi guys. How are you? Thanks for you guys do a great job every night. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You
Thanks.
ever looked into, you have Sling and Hulu and all these other things. You ever looked into any of these hosting services?
Like what, like a Roku or something? Or
Yeah, so I'm not going to give the name because you can't. The one I use, you can't actually sign up for it anymore.
Okay.
But there are other hosting services out there.
Explain what that means by hosting.
So basically, it's a hosting service. So it's kind of like an old Napster where everything is on it.
I love Napster.
Oh, yeah, yes.
So
I'm
the
familiar with
service
those.
I have, you get a Fire Stick. Obviously, you got to jailbreak it.
Yep.
And you download the app to it.
Yes.
I pay $5 a month for this service, guys.
Oh, boy.
And there are other hosting services out there. Now, on this service, I have every movie channel, every single pay-per-view that comes. I can watch cricket on pay-per-view from Australia if it's on. There's no DVR involved with it, but every movie channel, I have about 300 different TV channels. There's adult stuff. I mean, it is ridiculous. There's UK movies, UK sports, any pay-per-view, any Major League Baseball, hockey. I'm going to go home and watch the Bruins right now.
For $5.
Everything is on there, and it
Wow.
costs $5 a month.
Yeah, I've been. You know what? One of my friends has a Fire Stick, and they've done that. They've done the jailbreaking thing. I think it's something I got to look into. Honestly, what we're paying.
Yeah, there's other ones out there. The one I use, I've tried to turn other people onto it, obviously, right? Because it's such a great deal.
Right.
And they don't accept any new members, so I don't know if they're maxed out or their servers are full, or. But even if you go to their website doesn't come up. When you put the name in of the hosting service, all that comes up is their billing department. And I get a notification once a month, pops right up on my TV, hey, you got to pay your bill by such and such a day. I go on the computer, I go to their website, I pay the $5. I've had it for about 2 or 3 years because Comcast is ridiculous now. I hear what people pay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's obscene. It's obscene. And you mentioned Walt Goggins. I believe the show is on Hulu. It's from the 90s, but it was, to me, the best cop show ever. The Shield.
Oh yes,
The Shield is
I
fantastic.
love The Shield. Yeah, it premiered in the early 2000s, I want to say, and it was FX's first big prestige show because they had
Yep.
that and then Sons of Anarchy.
Right.
I love The Shield. Yeah,
Shield is a great program.
yeah, with Michael
Yeah,
Chiklis.
Walt Goggins. He played a character.
Shane Vendrell.
I think was his name.
Yeah, Shane
And
Vendrell.
I own them all on DVD, and probably like once every 2 years I go on a binge where I just watch the entire thing. It's such a good written show.
It's an excellent show. Yeah, I love that. I love The Shield.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks for the call.
Thanks for the call.
it.
The Shield is actually based on. Oh, got it. The Shield is actually based on. You just kind of figure stuff out. It's kind of like we're speaking of TV shows because I was helping Barry with the board today,
right?
And I just pressed the button. I'm like Jesse Pinkman, where with Walter
meth?
White. No. So it's kind of like cooking meth in that I don't know the science like Jesse Pinkman does. I
Okay.
just know the steps, right?
You just know the steps.
I know this button. This light should not have been on, so I pressed it, right? And then that just made the thing better. I don't know why.
Unlike cooking meth, the board's not going to explode.
Yeah, the board won't explode. Not yet. And so The Shield is actually based on, by the way, the Rampart scandal in the early 90s of the LAPD, where they had a unit of the LAPD at the time that was...
God rest Tupac.
Yeah, that was essentially, a street gang. And so the original name for that show was Rampart. And they changed it to The Shield, which is, I think, a much better and much easier title.
Shield is a great name.
It is a great name. Yeah, it was a great name. It was a great show. Michael Chiklis. Yeah, Walton Goggins played Shane Vendrell.
The Commonwealth's own Michael Chiklis.
The Commonwealth's own Michael Chiklis, who played Red Auerbach recently. I don't know the other names of the actors in that show to be. What's his name? Forrest Whitaker was in that show too.
Have you watched his take of Bumpy Johnson?
Yeah.
So I think that's a good program.
Yes, The Last King of Harlem or something, or Godfather of Harlem.
Yeah.
I was thinking The Last King of Scotland, which he was also in.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a very
really
good movie. Won Best Supporting Actor for it.
So the last Godfather of Harlem, what is going on with that? Do you know? Because I can't see another. Is there?
I watched the first season.
So did I.
Yeah.
I watched the first 2 seasons, and I kind of forgot. Not forgot I'd watch it, but I thought maybe this is a new season, but it wasn't. So I don't know what's going on with that program.
I don't either.
But they had a couple good actors. They had one of the guys from Law and Order. Mm-hmm. They had the guy
Vincent D'Onofrio's in it, isn't he?
Vincent D'Onofrio playing Chin Gigante. They had Joe Bonanno was being played by the guy who was in Chaz Palminteri.
Okay.
Chaz Palminteri, who plays a good gangster. He was in Bronx Tale.
Oh.
So here's a one-man show, The Bronx Tale. He brings it out on stage.
Really?
Yeah, he does. He did it in Providence recently.
How does he shoot himself in the head?
I don't know exactly. How does he do
that?
I don't want to ruin it for the audience.
Yeah.
But I know because a friend of mine just went to see it. But so
you don't want to ruin. You're okay with ruining Succession, which is
That's because
an episode that aired 2 weeks ago, but a 30-year-old movie.
That show makes me sad. That's why.
30-year-old movie. You're okay with? You need to. Hold on. Spoiler alert.
Well, this is the live version, Marcus.
Sonny, no.
Might have a twist.
Sonny. All right. 508-996-0500. Good evening.
Hey, so guys, I agree with you. Bumpy is the sequel should definitely be the congressional hearings with Alvin Bragg in New York. Did you guys see any part of that today?
I did. I think that my problem with that, Barry, is that I wouldn't want Congress doing that to my district attorney. So my issue with I'm not a big fan of Alvin Bragg. I think he's overstepped. I think the charges on Trump are ridiculous. But that being said, I don't think local district attorneys should be called up to Congress, but that's just me.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with the oversight with that. And by the way, Marcus, I did find your Bunsen burger upstairs. Your burner, if you want it back.
Oh,
but,
meth.
A lot of what's going on is kind of crazy. And here's my dilemma. I have to be honest with you guys. So if I had, whether it's, radio personality like Chris McCarthy up in my Flybridge or Marcus Farrow at my house, you guys know, we owned Trio Liquors, several bars, Sylvia's Package Store.
I'll get you a kegulator back, by the way.
You got my kegulator, Chris?
It's somewhere down. It's somewhere down Wilbur's Point. No, Westport Point.
And more than loving you guys, here's my dilemma of a bad week. And if this is the only thing that you have for a bad week, I just want to air it. You guys know, whether you were on my boat or at my house cooking burgers, you know what I'm going to have for a refreshment, right?
A Bud Light.
A Bud Light.
Yep.
So my three sons have been giving me, am I still drinking Bud Light, all that other stuff, right?
Or have you gone for the full operation, Barry?
Oh, my God.
What is your commitment to your brand?
Here's my thing, Chris.
I know what your thing is. I just hope you don't chop it off.
Yeah, well, you know what? And by the way, I don't see that stuff doesn't bother me, whether it's transvestite.
No, I agree.
My best friends are gay. So my problem that I have is that, owning 3 package stores and bars, I can drink whatever I want.
Right.
I choose to drink Bud Light, and the interference is that it's not going to bother me, Chris,
right.
And Marcus, as you know. It's nothing I'm going to identify with. It's not going to change the brand. It's not going to change any of that.
It's going to change the way you go to the bathroom.
Well,
all right. Hey, listen, I'm going to take this break now because, Barry, I appreciate the call.
Marcus, to throw the break,
I got to do the break. I got to take it. I'm overdue. I appreciate the call, Barry.
It's a like an 18-wheeler brake, an air brake. So, Marcus, the Succession storyline is continuing on. We've got a number of other interesting stuffs out there, but we were talking about some of the different cable services, the subscription services, things of that nature. One of the most interesting things to me is people who have cut the cord. If you want to cut the cord,
I tried to play the Shield theme, but I was too late.
All right.
Yeah. I was too late.
That's the Shield theme. I prefer the Hill Street Blues.
That was incredibly rude of me, Chris. Sorry.
It's all right. Listen, you had an urge.
I had an urge.
You had an impulse.
I had to play. So I've seen the Shield in the app chat a few times.
Who is that artist? Do you know? If off the top of your head, if you know it.
It is.
Is it House of Pain? It kind of sounded like House of Pain, maybe. Drake. The Canadian?
Just kidding. No, it's not Drake.
All right. I was going to say, come on, Canadian. Canadian rapper, I can't take it seriously.
Drake.
Canadian had great rock stars. Rush, Loverboy, Bryan Adams to some degree.
Bryan Adams, yeah.
Great comedians, Bob and Doug McKenzie, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy.
Michael Myers.
But rappers, come on. Although I do like Drake. He was funny on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, because he was an actor before he became a rapper. He was an actor on a TV show.
I would argue he's still acting.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Street.
Yeah, it's true.
How tough is Toronto? Let's get serious.
Justin Bieber is the guy on your T-shirt. It's funny he's wearing a Bieber T-shirt. I didn't recognize it at first, but Marcus loves Bieber. That's not correct.
Marcus loves Bieber.
I actually do. I think he's extraordinarily talented.
I will tell you, he's in the same vein, I think, as Justin Timberlake, who's absolutely hilarious on Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah. Justin Timberlake won, more than one Emmy, actually, for his performances on Saturday Night Live.
And I have seen him in Fairhaven, too, so you can't really go wrong.
Yeah, he was at Margaret's with his wife because they went to a friend's wedding that was in Massachusetts in this area somewhere.
Was he on this boat, right? Because the boatyard's right there. A lot of those people use their boats.
Maybe he went to go get breakfast at Margaret's.
Yeah, you walk down from the boat.
Yeah.
Because that boatyard's one of the few boatyards that can take all the boats.
Yeah, I think it was 2006 or something.
Yeah.
So I wasn't.
I used to. I saw him. That's right down the street from the house. But anyway, so Marcus, would you ever consider cutting the cord?
I did.
Explain what you did.
Yeah, so actually when I moved to my condo, the first time I ever lived out on my own is when I bought my condo. And I bought internet and streaming services. I didn't get cable. I used Sling.
So where did you get your internet service from? So your condominium was on Route 6?
It was Comcast. Yeah, it was
Route
on
6 in Fairhaven.
Yeah, I was in East Fairhaven.
Okay.
Yep. And I just I bought internet. I think it was from Comcast. It was $60 a month at the time. And it's gone up a bit, but went up a bit then. But it was that, and then Sling was like $50, and I got a bunch of channels, so it was worth it at the time. It's since become more expensive, but I split it with.
Thanks, Obama.
Well, I split it with
Right.
I split it with family members anyway.
Right.
We split this one person has Disney Plus, I have Hulu, and another person has Netflix. So
Right.
it all works out pretty well.
So the thing that I have always had a cut cord type relationship down at Wilbert's Point. There's no reason to have cable down there. When I'm down there, no one's there most of the year. So when someone's there, originally I had a jailbroke phone, which acted as a hotspot.
Sure.
Right. So it wasn't until one day I got a phone call, and they said, "Mr. McCarthy, we're from AT&T. We know that you're running way too much data through that phone. You obviously have a jailbroken phone." And I said, without admitting to that, what are my other options? And the guy said, "I wouldn't get rid of your program. I wouldn't get rid of the deal you have. Just knock it off."
Yeah, right.
So, but I always had rabbit ears down there. Because I think like you, Marcus, my big TV is sports.
Yeah.
If I'm really going to watch television, it's generally sports. That's my appointment television.
Sure.
So if I'm going to watch something else, I can generally select it on my own time through a streaming service of some sort, right? So football season, all the games that you really want to see, just about, up until recently, were available on broadcast television.
Yeah.
Right? I like college football.
Now you can get the Thursday night. Now the Thursday games are
infuriating.
It's awful.
So I was, so I have that. It's Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I have it too. Yeah.
I like to watch television and change the channel.
Yeah.
When the commercial comes on, not that I don't mind a Bud Light commercial, but I want to put on something else. Right?
Yeah.
Especially Sunday night, I might flick down to CNN or Fox, something like that, right? Family Guy, whatever the hell. Now I got to go out of the app.
You got to go back.
Oh,
You gotta-
it's a real pain in the ass.
Well, there's other. I mean, I think with Hulu Live TV, you can more or less replicate that previous experience that you used to have. So you just press the down button, and then it's all the available channels.
Oh, all right.
It's sort of a lot though, because it takes longer. And 508-996-0500.
I remember the old days when I was the remote control. My father would say, "Hey, Chris, change the channel."
Good evening, you're live.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me back.
Hey, Barry.
So I guess the point that I was going to try to drive is the effect on the local economy for the brewing company. So you guys, I might be a lot older than you, but you remember, Freddie D's Narragansett, the brewing company was here in New Bedford?
I remember Narragansett, sure.
And Dawson Brewing Company was over where Luso Food Company is.
Yep. Dawson
So there were a
Brewery.
lot of, you remember that? Marcus, you're a lot younger than us. But there were a lot of jobs that were dependent upon the local brewing of. So if anybody's a Budweiser loyal person, they would understand where the Budweiser brewing companies are, correct?
New Hampshire.
Jacksonville, Newark. Yeah, we all know them, Chris. We were studying in college together.
Right.
We all know by heart. But
The Clydesdales used to be kept in Lakeville. So I always remember that the Clydesdales that we'd see at the brewery in New Hampshire actually lived on Route 18 in Lakeville.
But it's, I guess it's kind of offensive to the fact that, we're displacing local employment. I'm not saying that it's here in New Bedford or whatever, but, you know, the Budweiser, Bud Light brand is well recognized and well known. And I don't think we should be so, I don't want to say reactive or crazy to the fact that, you know, I'm not going to stop drinking Budweiser. And I just, I don't think, I think it's overreactive to the fact that there's going to be a lot of people displaced in terms of jobs and delivery and all that other things that goes along with it.
Look, my feeling on it is that they took a risk and they miscalculated. I don't, you know, for me, if I don't really drink beer anymore, but if I did, it wouldn't change what my taste for a product is. I mean, I'm lucky because the beer I like, Coors, has the greatest movie of all time ever made about it. So, Smokey and the Bandit. Thanks, Barry.
Appreciate the call. We got to take a break.
1420 WBSM, New Bedford's news talk station. Have your voice heard right now on South Coast Tonight. Call 508-996-0500 or send an app chat message on the WBSM app. Now, back to Chris and Marcus.
So, Marcus, on cutting the cord. So you were able to, in East Fairhaven, get just cable for a relative. I mean, everything, the prices are all going to change.
Just internet.
Yeah. The prices are obviously going to be changed. Even in a few years, they've changed quite a bit.
Yeah, they have.
But that was always one of the issues.
I mean, the subscriptions, I have now are more expensive too. You know,
right.
All.
But nothing is as expensive as cable.
No.
Cable is ridiculously expensive.
It is.
If you start to add up what you really watch, what I found is that by having a hotspot and being able to stream on my laptop shows that with seriously old school rabbit ears, I was able to get everything that I needed. Plus, I still read books. I mean, I still do other things besides watch television, I guess is my big point. But there comes a time in our life when watching television is one of the major activities because we don't have as much, or especially the winter time. So my situation in the summer, you know, I go in the water, I do all kinds of other stuff. So having down at my cottage just a streaming service and rabbit ears for college, because remember, college football starts a little earlier, and pro football starts earlier. So I'm down there in September. I want to watch the pros.
Sure.
But I get them on broadcast television with the rabbit ears.
Right.
But it is, like, for instance, the basketball now is just almost restricted to cable.
Yeah.
You get, like, yesterday there were a couple games on broadcast.
You know what's funny, actually? I have Hulu Live TV. I get the basketball games on it.
Okay.
But I was at a party.
Now, does Hulu Live charge you extra for the basketball, or does it all come together?
No, it all comes together.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and you get your local channels. Like after 10, I'll go home and I'll watch WPRI at 10, you know.
So you get that.
You get the local channels.
Okay.
Yeah. But, I was at a Greek, it was someone's Greek Easter actually yesterday. And so, but the Lakers were on, and I'm a Lakers fan. And so I had to watch them.
Right.
And so I went into, they had like a living room.
By the way, folks, he went and changed from his Bieber t-shirt into his Lakers t-shirt.
Into my
Go
Lakers,
ahead.
I have a picture. It's a picture of Kurt Rambis.
With the goggles.
With the goggles. So the funny thing, so that I go.
By the way, he gave me an elbow when he walked past me in the studio. But anyway,
yeah. So then I go in. So I go into the living room, and they're watching golf, which I still don't understand. And I was talking to one of my buddies, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't watch the NBA because it's a bunch of overpaid babies." I'm like, "What are you watching now?" He's watching golf.
Golf's a bit of overpaid babies.
Yeah, of course it is. Phil Mickelson's a huge baby.
Phil Nicholson.
He's one of the biggest babies on the planet.
By the way, tell him I'll take his action if he wants to phone it in.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I found out that my Hulu app couldn't carry the game, so I had to download the ESPN app, and then I had to sign in from the ESPN app with my Hulu subscription.
See what I mean? I wouldn't do any of that.
It's a little convoluted, and it probably all has to do with these, they have rights to this and rights to that and money and
Of course.
all that
It's
other
all money,
stuff.
yeah.
But it was kind of a pain. We've got a good. Oh, by the way, someone Wally from New Bedford said he likes watching Ted Lasso. Have you seen Ted Lasso?
So you know something, Marcus. Before we got on this topic, I actually was going to say I like Ted Lasso.
Me too.
I do think it's a really good show.
I love the in season 1 where the guy goes, "See you later" when they're going to get salads. "See you later." He busts back in the door, goes, "Hey, I like that."
Right. I do like that show.
It's a great show.
I've liked the actor always since he was on Saturday Night Live.
Jason Sudeikis.
I really like him.
I liked him in Eastbound and Down too, when he was the catcher.
They stole that title from the greatest song of all time, which is called Eastbound and Bound from Smokey and the Bandit.
We're gonna take a break.
So, Marcus, I was just we're talking about cutting the cord, living with the old school antennas. There are some people in our audience, I know because I've had this conversation with them, who have gotten some of these really high-tech antennas that